Now, I wanted to ask you real quick about Chris because they had to take him out of the movie, and we heard that he was kind of amalgamated in with Mike's character a little bit, and I was surprised by that. But I knew about Chris, and I wanted to give you a chance to talk a little bit about Chris, and tell everybody a little bit about him.
Yeah,
Just
he was
to
a
get to talk
yeah,
about it to the fans.
he was a beautiful little guy. He really was. He wanted to wrestle so bad. He thought he wanted to be just like Kerry, to tell the truth, one of those big muscles, But he took uh, medicine for asthma that was called prednisone, and it's a steroid, but not like you might think. And it really stunted his growth, made his bones brittle. It gave him a moody personality, and it was yeah, in a way, drugs did that to him. But it was just a bad choice. My mother back then was really. It's a long story, but back in those days, my dad raised me, Dave and Carrie. He raised us rough. My dad was born in 1929. That's a depression, and you don't need to have worthless kids. You need your sons need to know to keep their word, to do what's right, to be on time. And there's some life lessons a father just has to teach his son. And a lot of people in today's world would say it sounds rough that my dad would take a leather strap to us when we messed up or when we did wrong. But let me tell you, we expected it. We knew that if we got caught, riding his cattle or whatever, we'd get it. And when we did, we got it. And it was life. I love that man. He was my father, and admire him forever. And all my brothers were the same way. We love my dad so much. I know this movie's out and it's popular, and I wanted people to enjoy it. But I want to tell you this too: it's not historical at all. That's not the way Fritz was, and that's not the way my mother was either. If one of us ever went up to her and said, "Mom, I need to talk to you," she would never have said, "Well, that's what your brothers are for. Go talk to them." My mother lived for that moment to
Yeah.
sit down on our beds at night and talk to us about how our day went, and pretty much the opposite how that movie was. But it was a labor of love. The producer loved Von Erichs and did his best, but he did from England, and they didn't contact me. I don't know why, because I'd been glad to help, but they didn't, and so it kind of shows. But I've been glad to help them out.
Yeah.
And they're real nice people. So I don't want to say anything bad about them, but that's not a historical movie at all. But it's entertainment. It's based on a true story. So but we were raised rough, and I wouldn't want people to think that just because it was like that I held any hard feelings toward my dad or the fans that watched that know that Fritz was not that way. He loved us first. I mean, money was just a byproduct of what our family business was. Now, like we're family, we're not perfect. I'm sure my dad made mistakes, but big mistakes, and well, he hardly paid us, but we lived with our dad. He paid for insurance, bought our cars. It was a family business, and it worked. Now, we didn't live there. Once I got married, Pam and I moved out, and we got about 1980, but then so did Carrie. Carrie got married and moved down the road from me. And then Dave, too, moved out on 407 on the old Fort Worth Highway. And so we all lived right there together with each other. But and we were really close. But you know, we just did our best. We thought that we knew that we had fans that were kids, and we wanted to say yes sir and no sir on the air and be good examples. But let me tell you, Mark, that's tough. To
Yeah.
spend 20 years as a good example. Things happen, and I mean, Kerry went through his drug thing, and that it was so public, but the media loves to build you up, and then they love to get every tumble when you come down too. It's just kind of
Yeah.
the nature of that beast. Yeah.
No doubt.